Now, starting Foottroller, unleash the control power of your feet. A speaker presentation by Tony Tian, president of JP Technology Initiatives Incorporated.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here. Today I'll introduce our product, Foottroller. It's a novel human interface device that wears on your feet and allows you to generate accurate game controls with your feet, foot actions. And let's start from a little bit of motivation. So the human interface devices, we have many types of very classic ones for different use cases. Like for the PC, you have keyboard and mouse, and for game console, you have handheld controllers and also touchpad for your mobile device or laptop. But for VR, virtual reality, you have the headset and the handheld controllers. But if you notice, the other application scenarios, in most cases, you will sit there. But for the VR application, you will stand in a completely different posture. So when you stand on the ground, so there's new controls of dimensions that's from your feet that can be leveraged. Sorry that there's some format issues. But, yeah. So our development of the product is just to make this product to use to allow users to use their feet to generate good controls for games and other applications especially when the user is standing there. So we call this controls from feet the new control dimensions. But first we look at the VR case. What's the limitations of the hand controllers you use to control the navigation? A movement in the VR games. Actually, the navigation and movement control is a big part of the user experience. And that's very important. The joystick one with your finger, thumb control, first it's not very intuitive because in real world, when you stand there, you don't move with your hand, you move with your feet, you walk around or run around. Second, with the joystick, you're using your thumb, it's very hard to precisely control the movement speed. So although the joystick can give you output, like a control output from 1 to 0 for example, but your fingers can output precisely the position you need for the precise control speed. Mostly just put all the way to the full speed. So essentially it's a binary control. So that's actually when you in a virtual environment, it will cause the jerk motion and cause motion sickness because your head cannot predict the movement actually achieved by your hands. So also the user hands, if you use it to control movement, it's kind of overloaded. It needs to it's better to use hand to do controls only you normally can do by hand. So with the Foottroller, we actually the one application of the Foottroller is to completely replace the function of the joystick in application like VR to give you a way better control experience. So let's just talk about the basics of the Foottrollers. So how it works. So to generate controls, game controls with our feet. So we actually first we identify the good control elements that can be generated from your collected from your feet. So those elements for the Foottroller include the foot tilt angles, like how you tilt your feet, and foot pointing directions, like when you turn, your foot pointing direction changes. Also, when you do move your feet like swap, swipe action, the point direction also change. Also, the foot touch states. So foot touch states actually we gather we determine the positions. There are the 4 positions on your feet, like right foot and left foot, the ball part, the front part, and the heel part. So we mark it as A, B, C, D. And with these areas, whether it's pressing the ground or not, you can find like 16 total touch states. But the Foottroller will measure the touch states of your feet, and also the foot tilt and the foot pointing directions, and send this data to the controller to generate controls with these control elements. So this also allows the developers to easily use the system. So everything is so clear. Actually, when you stand in a standing position, these control elements can be accurately controlled. Like you can precisely control the tilt of your foot when you step on the ground, also the pointing direction. So that's the benefit of using these control elements. So we have the Foottroller. This you wear on your feet, and it collects those basic control elements and send this to a Foottroller controller box wirelessly. This control box, actually we do processing and generate fundamental basic controls. That's just one control scheme allow you to use Foottroller to replace the function of joystick, so you can do movement control. But we also send the raw data, control element data collected to the device, so developers can fully use those data to generate their own control schemes with your feet. And this control box actually connect to your device. For example, a PC, a gaming PC, or even your headset. It's connected as a Bluetooth HID device, so it's a connected device like a generic joystick. But the joystick has axis and buttons. But those elements, those inputs, joystick inputs are from your feet instead of conventionally from your hand. So that's how the system works. And as you can see, the Foottroller is good for a standing user to use it in a standing position, and it's very versatile, and it's also low cost, and it's very effective. So let's talk about the basic functions, how it replaces the function of a joystick. So this is the way we use Foottroller to start a movement. We call it 4-way movement control. It allows you to start movement basically in game. You need to move forward, backward, and left and right with respect to a reference forward direction. So this 4-way movement control allows you to use the Foottroller to generate the control, start the movement in these 4 directions. It's how it works is pretty straightforward and intuitive. When you both feet stand on the ground, your right foot, if you tilt it forward, it generates controls to start forward movement. And if you tilt backward, it generates control to start a backward movement. And if you want to move right, you use your left feet, you tilt forward to move right, and move left is you tilt backward to your left feet to move left. So this is the scheme of mapping your different foot gestures to the control, so you can move in different directions. So it actually can pretty much completely replace the function of joysticks. Instead of using your hand or fingers, you can now use your feet to convert your feet into a very good joystick, because you can precisely control your tilt angle, and it's also very easy to control how fast you want to move. And that's how you start the movement with the Foottroller, and also it supports walk in place. Walk in place means once you start movement starts, you can just start walk in place, and so you can just stand there, operate in a small space, physical space, but in a virtual environment, the space is unlimited. You can just move anywhere you want. So walk in place, you can start, because the four-way movement, you can walk actually forward, backward, and left or right after the movement start. And it's another features with walk in place is you can, with Foottroller, you can precisely control how fast you move. How we do it is we use the Foottroller data to measure the touch state data, to measure the frequency of your step. Means if you like a step very fast, the speed will increase and you move fast. And if you step slowly like this, like step very slow, and the speed will drop and you can move slowly. So when you control movement, it's very easy to control the frequency of your steps, actually very easy to do. And you can steadily maintain the speed, high or low. You can actually move very slow or medium speed or high speed. So this function you cannot achieve with when you use your thumb to control a joystick. So why this is important, because in the VR game, the big problem is the motion sickness. The big reason for motion sickness is your brain, your control, the movement speed doesn't match what your brain predicts. So you actually want to move at a certain speed, but you use your hands to operate joystick, you cannot reach that speed, and it's either too fast or too slow. But with Foottroller, you can just adjust the speed smoothly and dynamically based on what you think. So that's give you so much better control experience in the virtual environment. So you don't feel motion sickness. Based on my personal experience, if I use the handheld controller joystick, I play a VR game, I probably after 5 minutes I feel bad. But with Foottroller, I just feel normal. Can play like pretty much hours, unlimited time. So that's a big difference the product made for VR games control. Also, it's more natural, right? I think in the real world, you walk around and run around with your feet, so your movements completely controlled by your feet. So with Foottroller in the virtual environment, you do the same thing, and just make the experience so much better. Also, for game developers, we can use the Foottroller to customize user experience, like with your feet, not just with your hand to interact with the game. Like for example, we have a demo soccer game where you can use the Foottroller to kick the ball, like even make a curved ball kick. Also, another demo is if you do a climb game, you can use Foottroller to control where you want to step, and use the Foottroller to control the climbing foot part of the action. Also, it can be used to play a driving game. Driving game is pretty straightforward because it can replace a function of physical pedal. You can use your foot tilt angle and point direction to decide if you step on the brake or gas, and control how much gas or brake you want to use. So also we have a interesting one for skate. Skate game, you have a customized control scheme, like you just step your right foot and you'll move the skate forward. It's just like you do it in the real world. You step, you push on the ground with your foot to move. And also you can use your left foot to control the direction of the skate. So also you can do different tricks with jump. You can jump up, and in the game it will also jump. So it just turns your a PC game or other game you used to use the hand to play, but you can now play with your feet and actually control the game with your actions, like jumping and kicking. So the point is that the control is also very responsive and accurate. So that's what we achieve with we can achieve. But for developers, you can use the Foottroller to customize your own control scheme with your own, deliver a special experience that for the game. Yeah, for the device, what devices you can use with Foottroller? Actually, as I said, the Foottroller, we have a Foottroller control box that's just can connect to any devices as a generic joystick, but you can get the input from the generic joystick input. Like the joystick's input axis is the for the movement control is left and right, and y-axis is the full movement control, like forward backward. So you can use this axis to control existing games, and like a z-axis actually we use it to deliver the red light foot tilt angle, and then they have other three axes that's used for the transfer the foot pointing directions and tilt angles of the other feet. And also we have 4 buttons from the joystick input corresponding to the touch state, so you can easily get this data, raw data, for your own game development from the Foottroller input to use it in your game. And we have Unity support script for Unity, and also for Unreal Engine. So you can use Foottroller for your own add functions for your own game development. So to play existing VR games, because we already control the movement, we generate the control movement, but the games, since they doesn't support Foottroller directly, we need to have a control banding function to allow you to use the Foottroller control to control the game. For this, we now a solution is to play Steam VR game. So Steam VR support the control banding. So once the banding is done, you can use a Foottroller to control any Steam VR games. Actually, we have a few demos of games already being configured, and you can use Foottroller to play them, like popular titles like Arizona Sunshine, Boneworks, Half-Life, Alex. It's all ready to work. And here are some demos, like a VR chat, some games, Steam VR games, and we have a link, YouTube video demos, and other applications like we can anything. If you prefer to stand to play the game, actually you can use a Foottroller. For example, you have a big screen, you have a game console, you can stand there and use Foottroller to control that game. That's a application scenario potentially. And also for the glasses or AR applications, you can also use Foottroller to add a foot action based control to get some control load from your hands. So also I think when you use a VR glove, there's no joystick. It's also a perfect fit for use Foottroller to control the movement. So yeah, I think that's all I have.
Want to check out more from the AWE Nite Orlando Immersive Intelligence Lab? Watch more talks and presentations from our incredible XR plus AI innovators. Thanks for watching, and please leave a like.
Nite Orlando.